Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 9 of Crash Bandicoot, the Bandicoot. Wait, hang on. Crash, never mind. This episode we're doing Jaws of Darkness. Now this is one of the levels where you have to do the Cortex bonus round so we can get the key. So that's going to be a fucking pain in the ass trying to get through this episode, because you know last time we had to get a Cortex key. We basically had to go through hell, so, you know. Yay! And at the same time, this is a blue gem challenge, so, you know, two birds, one stone. Anyway, the verdict is in. Wait, did that make sense? Do I say the votes? I don't know. Last week I asked, what was your favorite Crash game, and what was your least favorite Crash game? And I was pretty surprised by some of the comments, because, Tatagliacon, am I saying that right? Tatagliacon said that he's only played 2 Crash games, Crash 2 and Crash Party for PS1, and I like them both equally. I've never really heard of Crash Party. I think you might mean Crash Bash, which I've got sitting up there in my gaming collection. Yeah, I really liked Crash Bash. It wasn't a Naughty Dog game, and usually the pattern goes, you know, any game developers that aren't Naughty Dog that make a Crash game make shitty Crash games. But I actually liked Crash Bash. It was made by Eurocom, so that was a really good game. And Crash 2, yeah, as I said, that was also my favorite Crash game out of the whole series. Crashinator 7000, has that number changed? He said, well, let me find the comment. Yeah, favorite Crash game, and my all-time favorite game, Crash Warped, and least favorite is Crash of the Titans. I hate Crash of the Titans. And, that's really cool, because I don't want to be that guy that says, oh, all, you know, new games suck, and the old games are the best because I'm an old man and I'm a hipster kind of thing. But it's cool, because Crashinator, he's a really young kid. He's, I can't remember how old you are, but you're really young. So it's cool that, you know, young people appreciate these older Crash games compared to the newer ones, and not just blindly like them because it's new and stuff. Because, you can say what you want. If the new games are good or bad, I've never played them. But, the original series of, like, the original trio of Crash were by far the best in the series, from what I've played. And, you know, as I said, I've never played the most recent Crash games, but I would say that, you know, I would guess that they're not very good. But, you know, it's cool that kids, you know, they know that they appreciate the older games and have played them, and, you know, it just proves that these games are still very playable today, so that's really cool. And last week I also asked, what would you prefer to hear out of my bullshit stories and, you know, just bullshit talk all around? Or would you rather me talk about the gameplay more? And I didn't get many comments replying. I got 1. So that kind of implies that not many people actually care what I talk about, as long as I'm talking, or maybe they'd rather me not talk at all, I don't know. But one comment I got was saying that, they would rather me talk about the game because my bullshit stories are boring. Which, you know, I completely understand. My bullshit stories are boring, so what I've decided to do is I'm gonna try and keep the bullshit stories to a minimum. But if I've really got nothing else to talk about with the game, I'll bring up a bullshit story. Just because there's nothing else to talk about. But for the most part, I'll be trying to talk about the game. So with that, let's actually talk about the fucking game. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask this video's question of the video. Today's question of the video is, what is your favorite Crash Bandicoot character? My favorite Crash Bandicoot character, it actually used to be Dingodile, and I still think Dingodile is pretty cool. Simply because, you know, he's half dingo, half crocodile, so, you know, what's cooler than that? Plus he's holding a flamethrower, so, you know, you can't get much cooler than that. But recently, well not recently, about a year ago, or I don't know, however long ago, I went back and played Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity. Whoa, what's going on? There's some yelling at the top of my house. Yeah, I went back and played Crash Twinsanity, and I realized, because in that game you play as Cortex and Crash, so you're seeing Cortex a lot in that game, which I was kind of bummed about when I heard about it, but then I played the game, and they actually changed Cortex's character quite a bit. We saw a whole other side of Cortex we hadn't seen before, which was cool. And he was actually really funny, and most of the game I was actually laughing at some of the things he said and did. So, yeah, I really like Cortex. Especially in Twinsanity, he was really cool. But again, like, Twinsanity wasn't really my favorite game. I just liked Cortex's character. I mean, Twinsanity was a good game, but it wasn't up to the standards of the first three. Because I did like the game, I guess, but there were a lot of things about it that I didn't like. And I mean, the fact that they were there in that game kind of made me feel like it wasn't a good game. Does that make sense? So in the end, I think it's a good game, but I think it's a bad game. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But if you play it, you probably know what I mean. Like, it feels like it's not finished, and I think even the developers admitted that it wasn't really finished. They didn't have time to put in these levels that they had artwork for and stuff. So there were just little things wrong, like you couldn't skip cutscenes. That was a big problem, because in that game, the cutscenes play every time you die and you get sent back to a checkpoint. So, not being able to skip the cutscenes is a huge problem if you're going to be dying a lot, because you'll have to sit through them. Wow, look at all these gems. We've got a lot of gems. 19 gems. So we're really starting to kick some ass in this game. 7 gems to go, and we'll be getting the key very soon. So we're really pumping through this game. We're already on episode 9, and I'm pretty sure that there are only 12 episodes in this series, so someone guessed that there would be 10, because it's just the extent in which we're storming through this game. And we're going back into Jaws of Darkness because we missed the Cortex heads, and this is very important. Don't spin that snake that we just killed. Go up and spin the boxes personally. Jump back. Oh wait, no. Is this the right spot? No, I'm thinking of something else. What am I talking about? I have no idea. I'm just completely lost. Yeah, anyway, there's some bit where you shouldn't smack the I don't know. I don't recall getting the second Cortex head there. I must have just missed it or blinked or something. Anyway, don't mind my rambling. This is the Cortex bonus round. It's pretty hard, as Cortex bonus rounds generally are. You have to wait until that TNT explodes until you can jump onto the bridge. Otherwise you'll just fall because the bridge won't spawn in time. This one's even worse because the bridges are actually made out of boxes. So it's like you have to do like a no as the TNT explodes. And, yeah. mind my idiotic commentary. I apologize. I'm kind of out of it today. I've had a big weekend. What was I saying about Twinsanity? Yeah, the cutscenes were a big issue. And just general things with the gameplay I had problems with, like, for instance, when you get a mask, nothing really special happens when you get 3 of them. What happens, you know, in these games when you get a mask, when you get 3 of them, it's like and everything goes nuts and you're completely invincible. In Twinsanity, when you get 3 masks, it just glows a bit and sparkles fly off of it. And you're not really immune to anything, like you can still run into nitros and die for some reason, which is really weird. I didn't like that you couldn't jump on 90% of the enemies in the game. Which, you know, Crash jumping on enemies is like a pretty, you know, well-known thing, you know. This one is, I can't remember the name of this one. Not Lights Out, something, it's gonna pop up in a second and I'll be able to see. Wait for it. Fumbling in the Dark. I wouldn't have got that. Fumbling in the Dark, it's the same as Lights Out. But it's just a lot harder. I've rated this very, very hard. Or very hard, but it should be very, very hard. Not the hardest level in the game, but it's just... There are just some frustrating things that... you know, you don't want to be dying in this level, because especially if you're trying to get the gem, but you will be dying a lot. I think this is probably my 6th or 7th attempt at it or something. But yeah, this level's just fucking frustrating, especially towards the end, because you get all the way to the end, and there's just this big tough obstacle that you will probably not get past on your first attempt. And so then you just have to start the whole thing again, and no one's going to have a good time playing this level. And as I said in the last episode, getting three Aku masks won't help you, because, you know, only one of them counts, kind of thing. Because it's the light, you know, and your health at the same time, which sucks. But yeah, as I was saying about the Aku mask in Twinsanity, oh wait, no, I've already covered that. Yeah, there was just little things in Twinsanity that I didn't like, and you know, it's not that there were just a few of them. There were a lot, but if they weren't there, Twinsanity would be a really good game, probably even one of my favorite Crash games. So, you know, Twinsanity, it's one of those games that I like and hate, kind of thing. But you know, I'll always see the original Crash trilogy as the real Crash series, unless the series is given back to Naughty Dog and Naughty Dog make like a, you know, a Crash Bandicoot 4 or something. Even though they probably still won't be the same, even if Naughty Dog takes back the franchise, because the original founders of Naughty Dog aren't even, they're retired. You know, they don't do shit anymore. That's Fumbling in the Dark out of the way, and that gives us an extra gem. So now we're on 20. And what I mean by, you know, Naughty Dog not making another Crash game like it was now, I mean, you can never recreate these games. They're perfect, the 3 games, the original 3 games. And they couldn't really be replicated. Like, Crash Wrath of Cortex was trying to be Crash 4, but it just wasn't. It was just a cheap knockoff of the other Crash games. But that does it for this episode. Sorry about the shitty commentary. I'm not really having a good time today. My brain's kind of turned itself off, and I don't know. We'll have a better time when we do Castle Machinery in episode 10. I will see you sexy bastards then.